We are Albanians. We've been calm and undiscovered since 1912. There are few tourists here, no big industries, and no McDonald's. Is it a curse? Or maybe even a blessing? Welcome to our peaceful and uncontaminated wilderness of 39,635 square kilometres. Rugged mountains are our towers. This is our shower. These are our swimming pools and our 5-star hotels. In the middle of spectacular national parks, this is our spirit. And this is our grandma's yummy food. Yes, it's definitely a blessing. And of course, we'd love you to be our guests. If you have an adventurous spirit, love to discover ancient culture bit by bit, and love finding yourself in the purest of natural settings, we want to welcome you. Switch off your need for order, leave the big city pace behind, and escape the endless tourist lines. Come and experience our countries of unique spaces, unexpected time travel, and diverse landscapes. Albania and Kosovo, because life is too short for boring holidays. Stay safe now and meet Albanians later.
Hello world travelers and tourism enthusiasts. This is Blerina Ago and we are in my virtual tourism show Blerina Travels in Quarantine. Our guest today is Espree Devora, an entrepreneur who is known as the girl who gets it done. She uses technology and digital content to thoughtfully connect people in the tech industry and move them from online connection to meaningful offline relationships. Hello, Espree. Thank you for being my guest today. How are you and where are you now?
Right now I'm in Los Angeles. I am so excited to be here. I completely miss Albania. It was amazing being there and experiencing the wonderful canyons and nature and food and people. And I mean, everything was just extraordinary. And I'm very, very grateful to be on your show today.
How are you? How has your life changed due to coronavirus?
So I feel it's been an interesting time. Of course, like we're all affected, and I personally have been affected because I run an events company. And so we can't do events right now. We're not even legally allowed to do events. So even if it was a choice not to do events, I can't legally do events. And so but I look at it as a time, I like to believe in, I know it sounds crazy, but I like to believe in every challenge that we have is an opportunity to become stronger. It's like every challenge is bringing us closer to ourselves, but it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. And so I'd like to think that I'm rising to the occasion, that I'm doing my best to process all the uncomfortable moments and come out of it on the other side stronger. If that's okay to say. I'll say another thing too is that I feel guilty sometimes that I'm doing my best to maintain a positive mindset. I feel like maybe with society that's not okay. Like I'm not allowed to be positive. And so because of that, I do my best to kind of just be off of the news and off social media. Because I mean, I'm a person that has overworked myself so much that I wasn't able to walk for 5 months at one point from stress. So having so much stress is just not good for your body. It's not good for your physical state. And at a time when we really all desperately need our immunity to be, our immune systems to be as strong as possible, we don't want to do anything on our own accord to compromise our health. And so stress and worry and all this, I've been doing my best to stay higher than it, if that makes sense.
You said that we should also see this situation as an opportunity.
Yeah.
What are your 3 tips for entrepreneurs to emerge stronger?
So I always think that myself as an entrepreneur, it's my responsibility. It's part of my job to overcome challenges. I think there are challenges. It's the life that I've signed up for, and it is my responsibility to overcome them. It is a choice to overcome them, but if I choose not to overcome them, then I'm no longer an entrepreneur. And so this is just another challenge, bigger, but still just another challenge. I have staff that works with me, and then like, what do I do there? What do I do about the business model? What do I do that I was an events company offline, and now what does that look like to me? What does that look like to my customers? How do I handle interacting with my customers? I think at the essence, the three things to know about being an entrepreneur is, one is making a choice to overcome challenges, no matter what they will be, and understand, COVID or not COVID, you have signed up for a lifelong career in overcoming challenges. Like, it's never going to stop. Even when we find the vaccine, like, we still as entrepreneurs need to overcome challenges. So just understanding that there's not some like oasis of treasure at the end. And what really bothers me is that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of promote online that there is this oasis of treasure and then this level of perfection. And even they have really hard challenges to overcome, and they just don't make it public. And it's aggravating to me because I'm like, you're not being a true representation of what entrepreneurship really is. You're having challenges, but you want to be perceived as godlike. And so you're just making everything look perfect. And then, yeah. So understanding there's always challenges. I think the same thing that I thought pre-COVID, put a lot of prioritization into processes. What are the processes of your company? Like, who is your customer, and are you serving that customer to a level that they are excited to pay for the solution that you're creating for them? Are you serving a market who can afford to pay you? And so maybe your product or what you're creating it for a market that can't afford you. And so really being mindful of like, are you creating for a market that can afford you? And of that market who can afford you, like, are they willing to pay for that solution? And have they paid for it in the past? And have they had it solved successfully, but not as good as you can solve it? Or were they not able to find the solution and now you're going to be able to provide that solution? So just the essences of any business, really focusing on processes, understanding you're always going to have to overcome challenges, and making sure you have the right product market fit.
As an experienced entrepreneur, can you tell 2 actions business tourism should do right now to overcome as easy as possible this difficult situation we are now?
Yeah, turn off social media and turn off the news. I on Twitter,
social media to promote.
Yeah. So in Twitter, there's a feature to filter words. So like, I filtered anything that says Corona or COVID, so it doesn't appear. I really do. There's a Facebook newsfeed eradicator. And so it's a plugin on Chrome. I think it's called Facebook newsfeed eradicator, and it makes it so you can't see the newsfeed. So I'm just very mindful of how I interact. I think about the time that I'm investing my time mindfully that's moving my business forward, or am I doing a bunch of things that are taking me away from that? Yeah.
You are the producer and the host of Women in Tech podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Why it is important in inspiring women's voice?
So I think it's just important to inspire people's voices in general. And the reason why I chose women in tech is I'm a woman in tech, but I've never identified as a woman in tech. I've just seen myself as in tech. I think as a culture of humans, we have to see examples of possibility in order to believe in ourselves that we can achieve the thing. So I don't remember the exact numbers, but a long time ago, no one was able to run the 5-minute mile. And then one year somebody ran the 5-minute mile, or maybe it was 1-minute mile. Again, I don't remember numbers, but it was running. And in that same year, a ton of other people ran it because they saw that one person ran it. And that just really stuck with me, that I wanted to create a positive piece of content so people could believe if she can do it, so can I. And whether the person receiving that is a guy, a girl, a kid, an alien, I don't care. I just want to show examples of possibility. And I think when I walked into rooms, this is years ago, of a conversation about women in tech, I'm like, oh, wow, you know, this is a thing that's happening, women in tech. All the conversations would be about statistics or how we're held back or politics and controversy. And those are things that need to be discussed, and they have their forums to be discussed. But I didn't feel there were enough forums discussing celebrating people. And so I wanted to create a place for people to be celebrated.
Except of being a successful entrepreneur and a speaker, you are also a mentor. You've mentored me and other young people around the world. Can you share what has been the most interesting startup you've mentored recently?
Oh, wow. What a question. It's not really about the startup itself. It's about the person, right? And so for me, I find the most interesting people to be the people who execute. Even if they're executing in the wrong direction, you can't know if it's the right or wrong direction until you execute and find out. I think the thing that we miss as entrepreneurs is we think that if we read a book and we have the right map and if we do enough planning, we'll figure it all out. But I even have to remind myself this all the time, that the only thing that tells us the right and wrong way to go is experiments. We have to execute an experiment to find out what the answer is. So the people that I'm most fascinated by are the people that have the courage to just execute and discover the data from the experiments to know which way to move forward. And so like I meet with people all the time that, you know, and some of them choose to execute and some of them don't. And so I'd say execution in itself is the thing that excites me the most.
You visited Albania a few years ago. What
So
is
grateful.
your favorite thing about Albania?
I think it's awesome. What? How can you pick one thing about Albania? Okay, if I had to pick one thing about Albania, I'd say it was nature. If you're forcing me to pick one thing, I love Albania. Like, I can't pick one thing, but it's awesome. I think Albania is like one of those secret countries that like no one knows about yet in the US. Like people aren't thinking like, let's travel to Albania. Huge mistake. Like Albania is like, if you're thinking about going to Italy, think about going to Albania. You know, it's just like, it's a secret, and it's not going to be a secret forever. So people should start going there now before it becomes, you know, Italy.
How would you describe Albania to a person who has never heard about it?
Well, because of you were able to take me to like more remote places. Where I stayed was in Tirana, which is more city, right? And so, I'd say it has a little bit of everything, meaning if you want to go to the city and that city life and like more of the clubs and dancing and like, you know, out, that's great. I'm more of a nature girl. So I did stay in the city, but I liked going out in nature. So literally you could just drive away and go to nature. There's these like amazing towns to like where you still have that small vibe community feel. So you're not totally in the woods, but you're able to have like a beautiful dinner and then go on this epic hike. The food is incredible. The people are warm. I mean, I really love Albania. Like, I mean, and I just think active Albania is like the only way to truly immerse yourself in like the real Albanian culture. Like, I mean, you take people to the mountains, you take people to the water, you take people to the snow, you take people everywhere to the food. I mean, Albania is amazing. Go to Albania. Just go.
Thank you, Espree, for this interview.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the gift of being on your show and just like allowing me to experience the magic there.
No, it was all my pleasure. And I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to do this interview with you and to get these advices and short tips for all entrepreneurs who actually are struggling right now with their businesses.
Totally.
Blerina Travels in Quarantine was made possible thanks to Active Albania with the support of Swiss Entrepreneurship Program and Women Founders Network in Albania.
before you totally wrap up, can I say
Sure.
one more thing? I know that the time that we're going through right now can feel impossible, not knowing like what's next, not knowing what's around the corner. If we looked at our businesses more like artists and really focused on possibility, and we didn't create self-limiting beliefs for ourselves, things like there are no customers, you don't know that to be true. Things like people won't pay this, you don't know that to be true. Things like there's no money left, you don't know that to be true. And maybe it is true that there's a fraction, and maybe it's not true. But if your art is impacting people's life and creating this thing that you want to create to solve for others, it is your responsibility, like while you were put on this planet, to create that art to serve others. And it is also like you deserve to be paid for that. Like, you cannot serve others if you can't serve yourself first. You need, it's like the whole thing on the plane, put your mask on your own face before you help the people around you. So understand that, like, no matter what we're going through, if your art is being an entrepreneur and it's in your blood to create for others, keep creating. Don't put any self-limiting beliefs of what is or isn't. Do the experiments to find out. Find the door of opportunity. It does exist. You may have to knock on a different door than you were knocking on before, but there is another door that exists for you. So do the experiments to find out which door opens, get paid for your art, and continue to create your art, because that's why you were put on this planet.
Thank you very much for these powerful messages. Very, very inspiring. I hope to meet you soon again in the future.
I know, I hope so too.
Till then,
amazing.
Stay safe and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
We are Albanians. We've been calm and undiscovered since 1912. There are few tourists here, no big industries, and no McDonald's. Is it a curse? Or maybe even a blessing? Welcome to our peaceful and uncontaminated wilderness of 39,635 square kilometers. Rugged mountains are our towers. This is our shower. These are our swimming pools and our 5-star hotels. In the middle of spectacular national parks, this is our spirit. And this is our grandma's yummy food. Yes, it's definitely a blessing. And of course, we'd love you to be our guests. If you have an adventurous spirit, love to discover ancient culture bit by bit, and love finding yourself in the purest of natural settings, we want to welcome you. Switch off your need for order, leave the big city pace behind, and escape the endless tourist lines. Come and experience our countries of unique spaces, unexpected time travel, and diverse landscapes. Albania and Kosovo, because life is too short for boring holidays. Stay safe now and meet Albanians later.